Hello everyone, welcome back to the SC Playbook NFL podcast brought to you by our proud partners, Sasha Legal. Today we don't have Funky, but I am Josh Clutterbuck. I'm here with Eden Richards. We'll be taking you through everything that has happened in week 5 of the NFL and bringing you everything that you need to know ahead of week 6. Funky didn't want to get the smoke this week. I think he's done all right, but yeah, whatever. We're going to go through trade-ins, outs, captaincy, all those different options. First and foremost, mate, how did you go this week?
Not bad, mate. 479. Look, probably could have been better, but considering it was a pretty major bye week, had a few people not playing, had to make some trades. I probably wasn't 100% sure on, but had to just back myself into. 479. Josh Allen, 40 with the C is okay. Yeah. How about our Patriots, though?
Yeah, mate, the Pats came, that was monumental. Look, if anything, like I didn't have a good week myself, but if anything, that Patriots win sort of brought me back a little bit. So can't complain there. But yeah, look, a couple of interesting trades we had to make. I think I just panicked this week, dude. I had like 427 points. My highest scorer was Puka with 39 besides Jalen with the 40. But, man, it obviously had a big weekend. Had a golf day for BBB, all that sort of noise. I didn't get to trade out Lamar. I traded out Bucky to bring in James Cook, who didn't do too well. Just a lot of those sort of things. So I think I only ended up having 15 or 16 blokes actually score for me, which wasn't great. So
yeah, look, as we said last week, it's one of those things where you've almost got to get your team set for the weekend. If you have a few things coming up with the NRL Grand Final and all that last week, it's understandable if you maybe didn't have a player or two play. But I was just going to ask, did you not have Egbuka get 55?
Oh, I did have Egbuka get 55. Sorry, yes, I did have that. That was great for morale boosting there, but. Yeah, look, I'm not too upset. Like, I think it's just one of those weeks where there's so many injuries, and that's the thing that really got me. Like, I had Harold Fanning come in for Brock Bowers. He didn't really do too much. I think he still scored double digits, which is good. But a couple of players there that, look, I'm not too happy with, but we'll see what happens. Before we go forward, guys, as I said at the start of this, we are the SC Playbook NFL podcast. So if you're new to here, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Apple or Spotify, or however you listen to it. Now, we've got weekly articles as well from myself, Eden, and as well as a massive team of contributors. So go to scplaybook.com.au for that one and make sure you sign up. Also got socials on Facebook, Insta, Twitter, and TikTok at SC Playbook NFL. We've also got that unlimited league code. I think this is your last week to join it, possibly 819-860. So you can take on us and the rest of the community. If you're number one and you're subscribed to SC Playbook NFL, you win $1,000 in cash. If not, and you're a non-subscriber and you win, you still get $500, but then it's $500 to the next top-ranked subscriber. So that subscription package gets you access to all premium content, including extra articles, the WhatsApp community, league prize money, and more for less than $2 per week. So sign up via the menu on the website. Before I go any further, if there is a little bit of background noise, we do apologise. We got thrown with the NRLW Broncos girls are celebrating upstairs at the Caxton today. So, yeah, look, deservedly so as well. Big weekend for Brisbane sport. But, mate, we might as well crack into the biggest outs and the biggest ins for the week. We'll go the outs first. Running my eyes over this list, there's a couple of expected guys, a couple of unexpected guys. Names that stand out to me, at the top there, Brock Bowers, 14.2% of trades have already been to him. He was out injured this week. Have you still got Brock on your team?
I've still got Brock, and look, we'll talk about, there's a tight end there that is very tempting at a very, 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 very cheap price that I'm looking at to free up a lot of cash. So I can understand that trade out, but I also understand if you want to keep the faith because you know how good he is. But I think it's one of those things where at the moment there's no right or wrong decision. We need to know about how long he's going to be out for. He's still got that class about him. So, I would just keep an eye on it. But if you wanted to trade and free up some cash, I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, look, I think the biggest thing with Brock at the moment is the injury, but also the poor play from Geno Smith. I think he's 9 interceptions through 5 weeks, which is pretty crazy to almost be double-digit receptions, like only a quarter of a way into the season. Couple other fellas on this list. Amari in Hampton goes on injured reserve, so you're going to lose him for 4 weeks. I can definitely see why he's going.
I'm just on Brock. he's playing through a PCL injury.
Yeah, right. That's
and he's got a bone bruise on his knee.
Yeah.
And the doctors have told him that the only way for this to improve is for him to rest and miss a few weeks.
Yeah.
Which apparently he is unwilling to do. So
yeah, okay. So he's just going to keep playing. Yeah, right. Buyers beware, I suppose. JJ McCarthy and Cam Ward have both been traded out quite a lot as well. Cam had a win on the weekend, but it was mainly due to the Cardinals being absolute dog shit.
I'd just like to say I'm feeling pretty vindicated around Cam Ward.
Yeah.
He was at the start of the season for me a massive avoid, and I feel like at the moment that's pretty much come to fruition.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Like, I think it's pretty crazy. The two rookie quarterbacks that started at the start of the year, they're both doing terribly. Well, JJ's been out injured. They got the bye this week, so that's why he's getting traded out. Lamar is still injured, and he misses week 7 with a bye.
Yeah.
So 4.7% of trades thus far have been him. Someone else who's been traded out a fair bit is a tight end that we were never high on, Colston Loveland. 3.3% of trades so far have been him. As Edith said, there's a fella we'll get into with the trade-in soon who is a potential point of difference there. But there's a couple of big names still on the list here, like Derrick Henry at 2.1%. What's wrong with King Henry at the moment?
What's wrong with the Ravens?
The Ravens are terrible, man.
Like, I know that any team loses a Lamar Jackson, it's going to affect them. But God, they were putrid on both sides of the ball on the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. They, I think they're 1-3 now, or 1-4.
They can miss the playoffs.
Yeah, it's legit looking like that. They're not in the greatest division, but when you're that many games behind at the start of the season, it's not good. So, and with Lamar out another week, another 2 weeks, like, not too good. There's definitely some options to bring in that I'm looking at instead of Lamar to free up a lot of cash as well. And Derrick Henry, I think now he's lost $7.3 million already. And going into this week, his break-even's 52 against the LA Rams. Like, he's just going to lose more cash. So if you're a buyer, I'd be pretty upset about that one at the moment. Another fellow who has been traded out a fair bit is Trey McBride.
Yeah, I find that strange.
It is a bit strange because, as we said, mate, tight end position's quite difficult this year. He's only lost 1.8 mil, but he has only made, he's only scored 100 points so far this season. So he does have a break even of 38 and he's looking to lose more. But
I think from my point of view, I bought him as a keeper. He's still the 5th ranked tight end in Supercoach. As we said, it's such a hard position in Supercoach and fantasy. Like, it's just one of those positions where it's really hard for players to be consistent. And he's lost a little bit of cash, but for me that doesn't matter because I bought him as a keeper, so it's not affecting me. So for me, I think he's just a hold. And just set and forget.
Yeah, good to hear. Now, the last two fellas on this list, we don't really need to talk about. They're both injuries. Actually, the Bucky Irving one's a bit annoying. They still think he might be out again this week, but he was a last-minute scratching. We're seen in a moon boot last week. So I actually got rid of Bucky for James Cook, which I almost swapped back so I could bring Travion Henderson in to start and just get minimal points to get rid of Lamar to bring in a quarterback. But, look, nothing was going to go well there for me. So, look, plenty of people getting traded out. I think the biggest thing there is the injuries. The beauty of Supercoach is you can trade out your injured players. So I feel like if your player's going to be losing at least 4 weeks with injury, you probably should be looking to get rid of him. I know I was preaching at the start of the year and even last week about keeping my trades. But at this stage, it's sort of looking a bit difficult with those injuries that have been popping up. But, look, not the worst, not the best, but we move forward, baby.
Yeah, I think even like on Hampton, he's made $8 million. He's out for at least 4 weeks, probably longer. You can afford to trade him out now. And now that he's gone up in that price, you might be able to trade him over to another mid-ranger who's going to make money as well. So, I wouldn't be scared to trade someone like that.
Is there anyone else that you think should be like a trade out target at the moment? Off the top of my head, I can't really think of anyone. I've been thinking about this a fair bit.
I think maybe if you took Troy Franklin, he's not making any money at the moment. He's kind of stagnated around that 14, 15 points a game. But again, there's not that many great cheapy wide receivers this week, I don't think. So, I think, again, we've preached it. It might be a week just to be patient. You can, again, with Troy, I think I'm going to keep him at least another week because I can just put him on my bench. He's just I don't think he's going to lose money. He's not going to make money, but he's just going to be there until a wide receiver emerges that I feel comfortable going, this guy's going to make me money.
Definitely. Now, if you're still an owner of Egbuka, McMillan and Golden, obviously we're keeping Egbuka because he's just producing. Ted McMillan and Golden is coming off the bye, but are you still happy to be keeping those guys at the moment?
Yeah, 100%. Golden BE -5 this week. He's going to make money no matter what happens, you'd think. And McMillan BE of 6. The way he's going to clear that easily. So these two are still going to make you money this week. So just keep them both.
Yeah, awesome. Righto, guys, it's that time where we get into our trade options and captaincy calls for the week. But before that, we've got to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Sasha Legal. So you think of them as your set and forget captain in the courtroom. There's no DMPs, no dub picks, just straight whims. So when it comes to disputes and litigation, Sasha Legal is like locking in a premium QB1 as captain. No wasted trades. They don't loophole arguments. They just rack up points week after week. Now, let's be real. In Supercoach, we all make rookie mistakes at some point. Was trading out Jamar Chase a rookie mistake this week? Maybe. But in law, you don't want any of that. Sasha Legal is the premium pick, the pod that always delivers. So your case is their grand final and every move counts. Sasha Legal plays the full 80 or the full 4 quarters if you're thinking NFL. So if you need serious legal muscle off the field, lock them in. Sasha Legal, your captain's choice for litigation. They have offices in Sydney and Brisbane, but it doesn't matter where you're based. Reach out and they can look after you. To do so, flick them a message on Instagram at sasha.legal. Call them on 0731852404 or email info@sashalegal.com.au. Now, Dos,
the Bengals still,
this week,
I was going to say the Bengals still stink, so don't feel too bad about that.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, mate, I've been so much head noise around that, but the Bengals do certainly stink. If we have a look at our biggest traded in people of the week, there's a fella, 20.9% of the trades are for Darren Waller, the $3.7 million veteran tight end out of Miami.
Look at his break even, mate, -44.
Ridiculous.
I don't think I've ever seen one that large. That is incredible. Like he's so cheap.
Yeah.
And look, on the weekend in the first quarter, I think he had 70 yards and a touchdown already.
Yeah.
And he didn't do much in the second half. But I tell you what, I can see why people are bringing him in because he's going to make so much bank in the next few weeks.
Mate, the thing is, and Funky tried to trash me with this last week, but Darren Waller, people forget when he was a Raider, was one of the most dominant red zone options in the NFL. And the only reason why he was shit was he went to the Giants.
Yeah.
Like he went to the Giants, who are an absolute basket case of an organization. Tua said, as I said last week, that he's never had a red zone option at tight end like that before. So like Jonnu Smith, go away crying. That's okay.
And he's lost Tyreek as well.
Yeah, exactly. So now he's got Waddle, Waller, and Devon Achane. So Darren Waller for me is someone I'm definitely interested at. Don't balk at his price and his age and how long he's been around for. People forget how good he was. So I remember in in fantasy draft, he was one of the best guys he was always a top 5 guy. He's always there for touchdowns. That offense is going to be pass heavy, so you might as well keep going after Darren Waller.
And the other thing to remember as well at the tight end position, most people will have Warren and McBride or someone like that. So on your bench, you can have a Waller or someone to free up cash and just leave them on your bench and they're going to make money. So,
yeah. I think as well that Miami aren't very good.
No.
Their defense is playing terribly. They're just not a good team at all. And it's the same sort of thing I was saying with the Browns. If they've got a bright spot, they're going to target that to make them shine a little bit, to not look as bad. So Waller's going to be that guy. I think as well with Waddle taking away like top targets and top coverage as well, definitely look at him as a possible guy to bring in as a bit of a point of difference.
I'm just reading his snaps jumped from 28% to 58% in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he's being targeted on 25% of his routes.
It's literally just, and he's been doing gritties as well. It's literally like he's getting more comfortable in the offense, which is a scary thing to think as well.
Tua is not in that form where he can make like really great throws to his wide receivers, so he's targeting his tight end.
Yeah, get that check down option to Waller, watch him make meters for you. The next most traded in person, no surprises here. He's about to go up with a lot of cash, 13.6%, and a break even of -50.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Jackson Dart, the New York Giants quarterback. He does have a tough matchup in Philly this week, but he's projected to make at least $3.3 million, which is what Cam Ward has made in 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, I'm still just so unsure about what's happening with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah,
because there is that massive temptation to trade, but they obviously have the bye this week. So
yeah.
Oh, geez, there is that temptation to go McCarthy to Dart.
At the moment, like when you have I know it's a limited sample size for both. They've both played 2 games. Jackson's about to play his 3rd over McCarthy, who hasn't played again since his 2nd. Who is more tempting to you? Like it's a very, very small sample size, but who looks the better of the 2?
Probably Dart.
Yeah, Dart looks. I think the biggest thing
got that
for me,
swagger.
He's got the swagger. He dresses up as Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, that's why you like him.
That's why I like him. But the thing that I think the thing I like the most, and I harped on about it the other week, it's his dual threat ability.
Yeah.
So if you've got a guy and he's paired with Scat, who's been going crazy, like I think the Giants are going to have a terrible year. They're going to have a really rough year. But when you got a guy who he's going to run, he's going to take hits, he's young, doesn't really give 2 shits about his body at the moment. He is going to keep racking up the yardage. He's always going to have a crack. So he's definitely someone I'm looking at. If I look at McCarthy and Dart next to each other, I definitely prefer Dart.
Well, the Giants are absolute pus on the weekend, and he still scored 35.
Yeah,
like they were so bad on offense. Like, fumbles, like they were bad, and he still scored well,
which is pretty insane. So that's something I'll definitely look at. And he's averaging 36.5, so that means like he's already scored decent points, like 35 the other week. Moving on, there's a couple of running backs here that are highly traded in. We've got Jonathan Taylor at 5.3, Christian McCaffrey at 4.4, and Krosky Merritt at 3.4 as well. We've got 2 vets and a rookie there. Any of those guys, can you see why people are bringing him in? Because I certainly can.
Oh, yeah, 100%, especially the first 2, JT and CMC. Watching that 49ers game, just the 49ers offense at the moment is CMC.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, we've come to expect that, but everyone was a bit worried about his body, but it's holding up pretty well at the moment. So I think you can get JT or CMC without any stress really at the moment, the way they're playing. I'm interested what you think about Krosky Merritt.
Look, I don't mind Krosky Merritt. I'm still on the fence because I think with Jaden Daniels there as the dual threat quarterback, it's always going to be hard if you're not an established guy in the league to get the carries and the yardage and whatnot. He still has a great break even. Look, definitely an option if you've got someone like a Hampton who's going to be on injured reserve for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, why not bring in someone who's a little bit cheaper, still a rookie, and still projected to make money for you?
Yeah. Just reading 6.6 yards per carry at the moment.
Like, when someone's doing that, it's hard not to give him the ball. I think he had over 100 rushing yards on the weekend, and he just looked so good for the Commanders there. But the thing for me, I think, like, out of those 3 guys I mentioned, like, I probably could be tempted on Krosky Merritt, but more so I'm tempted on like a JT. Yeah, I know McCaffrey, he's a little bit cheaper. JT for me though, last week scored 60. I think I've read a stat today that the Colts are rushing the ball something like 48% of the time.
I almost went Lamar to JT last week. I went Drake May instead.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with because they've got an elite run coming up, the Patriots. But when I saw JT score 60, I was quite upset.
Like, looking at my team, I've got like Gibbs, Cook, Janty, and Hampton, and then Bijan Robinson and Henderson. It's like, how do I get someone like JT into my team? A couple of weeks ago, we spoke about it, saying if you don't get him now, see you later. I'm starting to think I might have missed my opportunity on the big dog.
They're just feeding him.
Yeah, they are. Speaking of someone else who's being fed a lot, he's consistently on this list, and more people are starting to come around to the idea of him. Jackson Smith and Jigba, he had 46 points last week. He's got a break even of 22. He keeps making cash, and he's got a favourable matchup against the Jags this week.
Yeah, I don't think I need to say too much more about him. No. If you're a listener every week, you know how much I love this guy.
Yeah.
He's just an absolute gun. And I started with him, and I still think he's 16 mil. Like, he's very well priced.
Yeah, 100%, man. Now, someone else, we don't have to speak too much about him, obviously, but we'll move on to another person who I think's a little bit interesting. Jake Ferguson. He's currently 11.77 mil. He's gone up 5.6, and he's the Dallas tight end. Last week, I was saying how I don't really like him because he's never really scored touchdowns in previous seasons. I think he's been scoring a lot more this year, so there is that upside. He is owned by 6% of coaches and did have a score of 40 last week.
I think with the way that the Dallas offense is, I can understand people buying him, and I can understand that Brock Bowers to Ferguson trade, especially with that news about Bowers being pretty banged up.
Yeah.
You know that Dak is just launching it at the moment, and he's actually playing very well.
Yeah.
And, Ferguson's getting plenty of targets. So the Bowers to Ferguson straight swaps are very popular, and I can see why people are doing it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the thing is, though, our number one person, Waller, if you had the cash but had the option of these two, are you going Ferguson or Waller at the moment?
Probably Ferguson.
Yeah.
Just because I think that offense is better and he's got more runs on the board at the moment.
He's still got a break even of -3 and projected
and he's
to
still going to make more
cash.
money.
Yeah, which is crazy. So, look, I'm on the fence with that one. I think purely because Dallas has a more high upside offense, I'd probably go Ferguson. But Waller, with the money he's about to make and being one of only 2 targets pretty much that's realistic for Tua, I think he's intriguing. Javonte Williams is there again. Puka's there again. But there's someone else who I trashed a bit at the start of the season for their play, but he's been doing quite well. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Scored 55 last week. It's almost like he's just had to put the team on his back.
And I feel like that's exactly what he has to do at the moment.
Like Travis hasn't really been helping him. He's got everyone out. He's just feeding different people. It's like, at the moment, if there's one person from the Kansas City Chiefs that you want on your team, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Because their receiving core has been pretty average. Yeah, and Mahomes, he's doing all he can. And even today, like he did everything he could, but they just couldn't get it done, which is very rare for the Chiefs. And that's how you can tell that perhaps maybe the Chiefs aren't as good this year. And it's nothing to do with Mahomes. He's still a freak. Yeah. It's the rest of the team.
It's the thing. He's 30 still. He's still doing awesome. The thing with Mahomes, at the moment, like he's the second highest scoring player in Supercoach. He's only 6 points behind Josh Allen. With Lamar out and his price point at 22.95, you've got Drake May at 20.99. I know you're an owner of Drake.
Yeah, I took the risk on Drake.
But like having a look at other options outside of Lamar, would Pat Mahomes, if you're in the position, like would you be tempted to get him?
Yeah, because I think this year you've seen just how much they're going to rely on him.
Yeah.
And because he actually had a pretty down year last year, but this year I think he's really taking it upon himself to put this team on his back, and every week he seems to be, every week he's scoring really well. So, he's going to be super involved in pretty much every scoring play for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
He can throw the ball a long way. If I had my time again, I might have even brought him in last week over May.
It looks like after we recorded and the news of Lamar came out that he would be out for that time, a lot of people made the Mahomes to Lamar switch. He's gone up from an 8.1% ownership against the Ravens in week 4 to 16.3 against Jacksonville this week. He's now gone up again. Like he's 3.2% of trades have been to bring him in.
And he's got the Lions next week in prime time. That'll be a shootout.
Where someone put up points today against them. I forgot who played the Lions this week, but they weren't a good team and it was an absolute shootout. So
Lions win their games by outpowering on offense.
It was again. Let's have a look here.
It's the Bengals, mate.
Yeah, it was against the Bengals.
Jake Browning threw 3 TDs, so that's what you need to know.
Jamar Chase. So. Yeah, look, they're probably the biggest ins and outs this week. I don't think there was anyone else there, no. But is there anyone else outside of that sort of circle that you've been looking at to bring in yourself?
Stephon Diggs. His connection with Drake May these last 2 weeks has been incredible. I think he put up 100. He's back-to-back 100-yard games. First receiver since Edelman for the Patriots to do that. Yeah. And that was in 2019. So Diggs is really finding himself in New England. They've got a very good run coming up the Patriots. So and he's around $12 million, I believe. So very reasonable price. And I I think he's another option at wide receiver.
I think the best thing about Diggs as well is the sheer volume of targets. Yeah, so that's something definitely looking pretty juicy for me. Mate, have you thought much about trades this week?
Yes, I have. And even just here talking to you, I reckon I've changed my mind about 8 times.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I'm actually thinking – I've changed my mind again. I'm thinking I might trade Bowers to Ferguson just because he's going to make coin and he's scoring lots of points. And Hampton, I'm not sure yet because I have enough cash there to upgrade Hampton, or I can go to Krosky Merritt and save even more money and then go big next week with a big upgrade on someone. So that's where my head's at the moment, but I'm probably going to change my mind about 30 times before Friday.
Yeah, mate, if you're anything like me, you'll just keep swapping it. I think the biggest thing for me this week is, once again, we have captains, lots of injuries in my team that I need to account for. I'm not confident in Bowers anymore. I'm hesitant to get rid of him because of what happened with Jamar Chase. Now, just to give a Jamar Chase update to everyone who didn't see, he ended up scoring something like 55 points, 52 points on the weekend against the Lions. Jake Browning still looks terrible, but he's just throwing the damn thing. So, like, Jamar Chase this year, he's lost $5.4 million, scores of 759, 12, 9, 52. So, look, upset he scored all those points, but I'm happy that I got rid of him before he lost another 1.7 mil on top of what he's lost this year already. But as I just said, the thing that I'm really worried about is that I'm going to have a similar situation if I get rid of Bowers. But as Eden said at the start of this, he's been playing with a PCL injury and bruised bones and whatnot. So there's a good chance that I will get rid of him. I'm very tempted on Waller.
Yep.
Very, very tempted on Waller to save that 8 mil, and then he's going to go up anyway.
Yep.
I'm also... One of the moves I made a while back that I'm hating, but I'm not going to get rid of, is Green Bay defense coming in. They've been atrocious since I brought them in.
When you brought them in, I thought it was a great move. So.
Yeah, same here. Now they've lost 1.2 mil for me. Excuse me, but they do have a favourable matchup this week against Cincy. But going back to actual trades I'm going to make, I'm thinking about getting rid of Hampton and putting in a Jakrosky Merritt or like a Scat or something like that. I want to go rookie for rookie. I don't want to bring in someone else. I want to bring in someone who's going to make me cash, because I think my big move after that will not be bringing Hampton back. Hampton's already made me enough coin. He's 12.36 mil. He's made 8 mil on the season, sorry. So if I can bring someone in who's going to be around that anywhere from 4 to 8 mil mark, so I can just bank that cash. Currently, I've got 2.43 salary, so I might go to a Jakrosky or a Scat, and then in a couple of weeks' time, or hopefully next week, if someone has a massive game, I can bring in someone like Jonathan Taylor. Now, the other option I'm thinking is I'm going to get rid of Lamar. Now, I don't know what you've been thinking with Lamar, but with the current, like, he's still scoring points. There's the current struggles that they've had. As I said, you don't need to worry about his break even. Like, he's always going to score. He's had scores of 58, 52, 54. And then when he went off injured, he was 22. I know I've said that if you've got them, they're your set and forget. You need to keep them. But is there a world where you don't bring back Lamar Jackson and trade him out and have someone else?
Yeah, and I think a lot of that depends on the next 3 weeks, because I just said I bit the bullet and got Drake May. If he scores 40 plus, averages 40 plus in the next 3 weeks, there's a chance I keep Drake May and save that trade. But again, a lot depends on how. I think no matter what happens, I'd be watching Lamar's first game back and not rushing into it. Because risk of re-injury, and also just coming back from injury, getting that confidence back, that takes time. I'm pretty excited. Obviously, it was a great win for the Patriots over the Bills. I'm pretty excited to see how Drake May goes over the next 3 to 4 weeks. I know that I'm biased as a Patriots fan, but God, he looks good.
So Drake May scored 23 this week, but he's only 38 points behind second place Patrick Mahomes, and he's a little bit cheaper. And when we look at ownership percentage, Drake May's only owned by 3% of coaches, as opposed to Patrick Mahomes, who's owned by 16%. Look, I think at this stage of the season as well, I forgot to update us on our rankings. I'm now ranked 1,099, so I've dropped out of the top 1,000. I'm looking for risky options to get me back there, and I think Drake May is someone that I could definitely be looking at to try and get me back up into that sweet spot. So, stay tuned for that, fellas. We'll see how we go there. I get to Thursday night and change my mind every single time. So I'll need to let you coaches know what I'm actually doing. But, mate, have you got any idea on your captaincy options this week?
Again, obviously looking at Josh Allen, but then they've got the Falcons this week. And the Falcons actually have the number one defense in terms of yardage. So he's coming up with a very good passing defense. So that has got me a little bit cold on that. I'm actually thinking I might captain Drake May. They've got the Saints this week, the Patriots. And I'm confident that he could have quite a day out against the Saints. Yeah, mate, I've actually been looking at the same thing. I think if I'm to bring in Drake, I reckon I'm going to be captaining him. There's no one playing in the Friday game that I'm going to consider as a captain because I don't have them. But there's a Sunday night game. I think I'm just going to do a bit of a set and forget with Drake May. I don't really. Although Buffalo's the Tuesday game, so I might do a captaincy loop. That's not a bad idea at all. And just see if I can loop my kicker in. The Ravens are playing at. When are the Ravens playing? A few buys this week as well to remember as well. So you can sub in a player that's on a buy if you do want to loop. Yeah, that is true. That's a very good option. Jeez, you're a smart man. I'd try my best. I can't loop my kickers this week, so I got no idea I'd be able to loop. But that is an option there. I was going to say, sorry, my last trade from before that I was thinking is a JJ McCarthy to Jackson Dart, and I'm thinking about just burning all my power-up trades. And just might as well get rid of them and get that team set. Trying to get your team set, so... going back, I think Drake May is a great captaincy option this week as well against New Orleans Saints. I will say, before you burn all your boosts, week 8, there's 6 teams on a bye. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Look, you're a smart man. Listeners, maybe keep your one boost up for week 8 because you're going to have to make some changes. Definitely. Look, it's sounding like it's starting to heat up a bit. I tell you what, she's getting a bit more difficult than what I first thought. I just can't believe we're already 5 weeks down. Absolutely ridiculous, mate. It's been a great 5 weeks though, and I've just enjoyed being next to you on the chair. It's been fantastic. Look, guys, nice and short and sharp one this week without Funky to have his say on his team. I think he did score 527 or something, but we don't need to mention that. It's been all good. So once again, thanks for joining us this week. If you do want to jump on board, we've got all those socials, SC Playbook, NFL. Jump on. Make sure you go scplaybook.com.au and subscribe. It's less than $2 a week. We chuck some articles up. Eden's last word has helped me more times than I could say it hasn't, which is great. So make sure you jump on board, get amongst it. Thanks for supporting, and we'll see you next week.